Impossible to Deny is back to discuss the newest developments in the world of UAP, disclosure, whistleblower protections, and missing scientists.
Ed, we are back.
Hey.
Welcome, everybody. It's been a while. Ed and I have been busy.
Yeah,
It's
we've
been
taken
a
some
while.
time off.
Yeah. Impossible to Deny. This is our podcast. This is episode 6. This episode is entitled Vanishing Minds, UAP Disclosure. So we got to get to the bottom of this. We're trying to get to the bottom of this. All the things been going on in the news lately with the 2 batches of releases that have come out of from our military. Our government has released these videos per our president's orders, talking about UAP footage, disclosure, not disclosure per se, but UAP footage. I guess we've been tasked to make our own minds up about that. And there's been the disappearance of several scientists that we want to talk about today too. That is also strange. Eddie?
Yeah. Well, what do you think of the releases of the videos? What just off the top of your head, what do you think of those?
I'm excited.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I am excited. I'm a big time. I'm a lot of interest in this stuff, so I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to see what's next. I'm hearing that it's going to be like stages of, like this is just the first couple batches, and there's more to come. I've been hearing from some of the representatives, Representative Luna and Burleson and all those been saying that this stuff is coming.
Well, psychologically, right? Like we couldn't handle it all at once, so it's a slow process of disclosure.
Yeah. And we had the movie coming out.
Which I get it. Yeah, I know. Do you think that's some kind of weird propaganda? I don't know what it is. It looks pretty wild.
It does. I'm definitely going to see it. I mean, we I don't mind throwing in a cheap plug.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Steven Spielberg, I think it's June 12th.
Spielberg.
Disclosure.
Well, it's probably going to be big.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to check that out. But yeah, I mean, that's weird timing, right? We got that movie coming out.
Absolutely.
All this stuff. Interesting timing.
Interesting timing. Yeah. We don't know what to make of it quite yet. But,
if anything,
some of the things on, I am fascinated by it, of course, but look at, as we were talking before we did the show today, look at what is going on. 2022 is when this kind of caught fire.
Yeah.
2022.
22, yeah.
2 congressional hearings on this. The second batch of all Defense Department and or government release of these things that cannot be explained. And I think a lot of America still has their head in the sand and just, oh, that's that stupid UFO stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this is not just the citizenry saying this. These are generals. These are admirals. These are fighter pilots. These are trained individuals from, defenses, all defenses, Navy and Air Force, etc. And they're all saying, hey, look, this is a national defense problem. And still everybody just seems to, I'm just do my 9 to 5 and everything's cool. Like on our logo, it said, this is the most important thing. We're looking at the most important thing, possible discovery of alien life.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we're not alone. And
this should be the biggest news of everything to me. I wanted that too. I'm like, why is this not, I want to go up to random people and be like, hey, have you watched the news lately? I think there's alien. It's been proven that there's alien.
Right. Hey, have you watching it? Yeah. Like,
I want to grab somebody random and be like, hey, did you watch these videos and these ships are flying around?
Right. Do you recognize this at all?
Species
does this bother you at all?
Okay.
I know where you're going.
It reminds me of something.
I know
we're going to talk about it at some point.
Go ahead. Yeah, I know.
We're going to talk about it at some point.
Because it's coming.
There's different species. There's different species.
That's right.
I've heard from several what I would consider credible sources.
And this is not new information.
No, it's not.
This is old information that's being confirmed now. Now I want to know what the sources are.
Yeah.
I'm in with what I see with the saucers and the speed and it must be from another.
Yeah, it's got to be something because we don't get to pick what they look like.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like there's got to be somebody making these
again
things.
Back in the Bob Lazar days.
Yeah,
the 4 species, were the reptilians.
The Nordics, the Greys, the insect, the praying mantis,
the insect kind of alien. Yeah, and that was, dude.
That would make you look at
90s, back in the 90s, that was said and stuff.
Yeah, it was.
Now I hate to do this too, but all right, if you're going to do that, you're going to bring all that on board. Suddenly, our MUFON people don't look so far out there.
You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Yeah, it's
Suddenly our MUFON people don't
It's
look so
slippery
far out
slope,
there,
man.
you know? I don't
It's
know.
slippery slope.
It's so hard for me to take it all
You
in
know, like, I'm like,
use my
"What?"
rational mind on really.
But, I mean, does this it's like, something like the more they release, it's like the less I can
Yeah.
rely on my rational mind in that context.
Well, I
You know,
get
because 'cause
it,
I'm like,
and
it's like
say
my
they release this stuff on these beings, and, just like I'd have to have my own moment with, my own thoughts of it, my own investigation of it
Yeah.
before I'm willing to say, "Yeah, okay, that's it." Now, if the government's absolutely saying this, doctors absolutely saying this, things like this, okay. But, if it's just such a thing, even we looked at a fake one right before we started
We
today,
did.
laughed it off,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
that
'Cause
Canadian.
there's a lot of fakes, there's a lot of hoaxes, there's a
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
there's a lot of that kind of stuff that damages what we're trying to do.
sure.
But the good news is there's a lot of people that are doing what we're trying to do, though.
Right,
I
and
think
we're
that's what
joking around about the Canadian,
the Canadian alien remains,
alien
whatever.
remains that were found because
Yeah.
both those guys had cigarettes hanging out of their mouths.
They were looking
And
while they're looking at this thing hanging out of
I get it if it's, somebody caught a 200-pound catfish. Okay,
Right,
that's
come on,
cool.
man. Yeah,
But if
yeah,
if you're
yeah.
talking about you found alien life, I don't
Right,
think that
you're right,
two of
you're
these
telling me that's
guys
not
up in
AI without
Quebec is
yeah,
gonna have
come on.
cigarettes hanging out of their mouth.
That's clear
Anyway,
Photoshop or
yeah,
whatever it
yeah,
is. Yeah, yes.
yeah, definite scientific research is going on here, okay? So,
But, back to your point, I
yeah,
like what I like what you were saying about, like, how shocked you feel about people not taking this more serious. Now, I
yeah,
am glad that more respectable news platforms have been at least talking about it.
yes, News
That's
Nation has been
yeah, News
huge
Nation does a lot of
on
it.
that.
That's what I follow a lot
There's
of about
been
this stuff.
some other, news take that on too. Fox has
Mhm.
done
Talking
some,
some stuff, yeah.
and I think CNN has done some as
Mhm.
well.
Yeah,
So
I
it's
think
it's kinda making the rounds, getting out
yeah,
there.
yeah, it's been on all of them. I think I saw it on it's been on CBS, on the morning shows and stuff. I've seen them talking about the footage they got released.
Yeah,
They've all touched on it.
yeah,
It's just I just would think but I mean, I guess, the world doesn't stop moving, right? We still have
it's
responsibilities,
true.
we still gotta go to
That's
work,
very
we still
true.
gotta pay bills. So it's like I guess it's hard to stop and be like, "Oh, wow, there's aliens. Wow, okay, well, I still gotta go to work tomorrow."
Yep,
I
that's very
mean,
true.
that's what
And,
basically what it is, like, well, okay, that's
if someone came into my office
interesting.
with an anxiety disorder about this,
Yeah.
an adjustment disorder,
Mhm.
that's one of the angles you would tell them, your world goes on. There's other
Yeah.
pieces to it. You
Yeah.
can't just have this
Yeah.
one piece
Yeah.
bleed into everything and
Yeah.
dominate your life.
Right.
So, okay.
Well, and there's only so much they want us to know, and I think we're getting in deeper into, like, why there's not full-on disclosure or what that even
Yeah.
looks like because, like, how much do you want how much can our brains handle, our
Mhm.
minds handle?
Yeah.
Like, if because, that could throw this could throw everybody into, an existential crisis.
Absolutely. About everything.
If they really told you if they
About
really came
everything.
clean about what they or if the other sentient life or whatever came forward and explained what was going on,
Mm.
I think we wouldn't even be able to understand it really.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, it would take a lot to process whatever they would have to say, because it would probably deal with our existence, and then it would just bewilder people.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
it would just bewilder people. People. But then here's the thing, though. So this is the dangerous part where I can also relate to the people that are keeping the secrets. Because I can respect the fact that you need to be strategic about it, because if it comes to be that we find out that we are just created, we're just like an ant farm, or we're just created or something like that by a more intelligent species, then that throws out morals and values and everything. I mean, like, we barely act like we have morals and values now
Mhm.
as a society.
Yeah.
So think about if that can delight that being a good person, 10 Commandments, all that stuff wasn't a
Well,
thing.
I don't know. That'd be, I don't know. Do we think that would break down the moral fiber of everything that we know? Or
I'm
would we
afraid it
just
would.
be able to go, hey, they live and we live too. We've got well, they're watching us over our planet, but it
Mhm.
is our planet and we still have control over things. They've not harmed us. They've not,
Mhm.
came against us, or they're not mining that we know,
Yeah.
resources from us at this point, I guess. I don't know. But they couldn't we coexist, and why and haven't we already coexisted for all of
Yeah.
our existence?
Yeah.
So maybe we would keep it together.
I hope so.
Yeah.
I just
Mm.
that's my concern anyway, that we would already that's what it would take to push us over the edge and become complete savages. That's that'd be, and I wonder if that's some of their concern.
Oh, I'm
Part of
sure.
why they don't release is that
I'm sure.
there'd be like mass rioting. Be like, why act like a good person? There's nowhere
Right.
to go. All these things are fables that we've all made up.
Mm.
And so there's why try to be good. And so That's my concern because I think people as a whole, we just don't, we get less compassionate as a group, at least that's what I've seen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you think that would call in, faith, religion, stuff like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did we talk about this another time that I was, if you look at that, I love that picture of the galaxies that are there. It's not the Hubble telescope, but forgot this new telescope that's on the edge of our solar system and can look out, and so we see all these different galaxies. Okay,
Might be Voyager or something. Yeah.
no, it's not Voyager.
Oh,
It's
it's
an
not,
actual
okay.
telescope, and I forgot the name of it, but
Like a
it's
satellite.
somebody's
Okay.
named
Okay.
somebody's name,
Okay.
but anyway, it's a hugely thought provoking picture because every single one of those little dots, and you can see they're cylindrical, they're spherical, they're
They're
different.
all galaxies.
They're all
And
galaxies. These are all
there was millions
galaxies.
of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, okay, Earth has its own narrative.
Mm-hmm.
If we're going to be saved by something, it's going to be something that has to transcend us and be a part of us in order to save us and ascend us to God. I don't know that means, okay, aliens are here and now I'm giving up that idea.
Oh no, I agree. I
Because,
agree too. Yeah.
and so maybe there's a gospel on another galaxy to another living being, but there is only one God that created all of this, I guess.
That's what
or
I
one
agree with that.
force or
Yes,
one.
yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know that
Yeah.
it's that black and white. I'm
Yeah.
not sure.
I would hope not.
And
That
for my
that'd be
faith
be my
personally,
fear
that's
about it. Yeah.
that's what I believe,
Yeah.
so the alien grays, if we want to pick on that, maybe they got a Jesus too. I don't know.
Right. Hopefully. Yeah.
Or some way of redemption, some way of being a higher version
Mhm.
of a good person or a good alien.
Yeah.
To aspire to something. And as you know, well, at least for our brain, this is a good thing for us to be doing, as a society and as a person. So
Absolutely.
we are way off track, my friend, of where we were going.
Well, we were.
Yeah.
That's how many rabbit holes there are.
That is how many rabbit holes there are. This could,
'cause
you and I could do a marathon on this for
Yeah.
I don't know how long and never cover all this stuff.
I know.
So one thing that unifies a lot of the reporting right now is these missing scientists. Very interesting about the missing scientists, missing or dead scientists.
Yes.
And what's the latest count? I heard upwards of 17 now total missing scientists.
I have some notes, Eddie.
Okay.
I have a few notes about it.
I got a few as well. When it began looking into this, there's some names that are really big. General William McCaskill. He was gone missing hiking. Now, here's did you get any of the background story of that?
I did. No, it was really quick. I have really quick notes on
Go ahead.
on that case. Like William Neal McCasland.
Yes, McCaskill.
McCaskill, yeah,
Sorry.
Retired Air Force Major General. He was linked to classified. We're going to talk, try to link or talk about how they're linked to top secret programs. So he was linked to classified research programs, disappeared in February of 2026 during a hike. And I think he was an experienced outdoorsman.
Yes.
Wife reportedly said that he may have, quote unquote, planned not to be found.
Because he took no ID and no phone with him.
Yeah.
So
which is very not
yes.
like what he would do, is my understanding.
Yes, very odd and bizarre thing. And also, most recently, I heard on News Nation that the night before, there's somebody that came forward and said, "Hey, I had dinner with him, and Space Force, or members of Space Force was there, and he seemed odd." And then the very next day, went missing, and this person came out with this report. So I don't know about that in particular, but you will find in looking at these cases that many of these people left with nothing. They left with no ID. They left with no phone. They left with none of the things and to identify them. Now, how often do you walk out of your house without your wallet?
Yeah, never.
Or your phone?
Yeah.
Never.
Same. Yeah.
Never.
Yeah.
And if I do, I find out I'm missing. I come back.
Right, pretty quick. Yeah.
Even if I'm going to go on a hike or a run or whatever. Well,
you have something with you. You have something with you.
Something.
I mean,
or that's in my car. You know what I mean? I drive to a
Mhm.
place that's in my car. Even if you're an experienced hiker and you really aren't, and you're pretty savvy about this, wouldn't you want ID on you on purpose?
Yeah.
So if they find your body
Yep.
and something does bad happen, they can ID you.
Exactly. So now you're getting that maybe he was somebody kidnapped him. He was like taken.
Yes,
snatched
possibly.
probably, and then it's like, oh, let's make it look like he went hiking, or that's the story or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
Went hiking and got lost. What happened?
Yes. So I was wanting to make some parallels here
Well, hold on.
with
I can
them.
hold on real quick.
Go ahead.
So we want to put the pattern together. I want to introduce the pattern, and
Okay.
I also want to talk
Because
about
there's some patterns here. There really are.
why it could be nothing too. So we'll get into
That's
that.
right. Yep.
But anyway, so the pattern emerges right from 23 to 26. The core claim: a cluster of scientists and researchers connected to aerospace, nuclear research, advanced materials, defense programs. They've died and or gone missing. Okay, in a cluster, like in a short span of time.
Yes.
And they're all connected to that. That's
So how
the
many
connection
years
of
is
it's
this?
weird.
This is from
Three that I'm
3
talking about
years.
here. It's from
3 years, upwards of
2023 to
17 people.
2026. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So we talked about General McCaslin. Also, there was a Monica Jacinto Reza. I don't know. I'm gonna
That's
butcher some of
correct.
these
Go
names.
ahe's I'm with you.
Material scientist tied to NASA. Materials scientist. So this person, as you can imagine, was tasked with, what the things are made of.
Mhm.
Metallurgy, all this stuff.
Origins.
She was tied to NASA, specialized in advanced alloys.
Mhm.
Okay. Disappeared hiking in California in 2025.
Mhm. Have you heard the interesting things about that?
I have not.
This was her with her yoga group. There were 3 people that were right with her.
Mhm.
They kinda decided to get ahead of her.
Okay.
I don't know why, they just kinda she just lagged behind a little or something. Literally, it was, I don't know, expansive a minute? They look back, she's there, they wave, they're kind of moving a little faster than her, and then literally they look back again, and she is gone. Gone in that quick of a moment.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so if you fell off this trail, they'd be able to find you. Haven't found her. They found on another trail, not on that one adjacent, there was some kind of beanie that she was wearing,
Okay.
and they had the search dogs out, and it went right to this beanie, and then after that, there was no scent. So this is weird, and this is quick,
Yeah.
and people were with her. So, wow, very, very strange.
Very strange. That is
Yeah.
very strange. I'm glad you found that. That's interesting.
Yeah, yeah. And that was on Nancy Grace as well.
Was it really?
Yeah,
Damn.
yeah.
Okay.
Nancy Grace kind of funny, but anyway. Whatever.
Right. Of all people. Next, there was a Dr. Carl Grillmare. He was a Caltech astrophysicist, killed at his home in 2025. One of the few cases with a known suspect.
Okay.
Okay, so
I have not heard details on that one.
yeah, I haven't either. This is all I could find out. Just his name and what he did, that he was killed. So he's part of that group in that cluster of those 3-year span.
Mhm.
Dr. Nuno, I'm gonna butcher that last name. Lorero, maybe MIT plasma physicist, killed in a separate incident. Worked in high-level fusion plasma research.
Okay. Wow. So you have each one of them. Man, keep going.
There's
Just
a
read
there's
them
a
all.
there's a Michael David Hicks, NASA Jet Propulsion Laboratory scientist, worked on asteroid missions. Died in 2023 with no public cause released.
This is something that was brought up about this, that
Mhm.
with all of these cases of the dead scientists,
Yeah.
there are no autopsies or no cause of death released with them. And this is very, very strange.
Very strange.
How many suicides do you know that they don't have an autopsy on?
Something. And that's why, like, some of the
Or
representatives, you've heard them give statements at the end of they've been like, hey, and by the way, I'm not suicidal. I don't take risks.
yes,
I'm not
yes,
depressed, so if something happens to me that's strange, it's please look into it,
yeah.
that sort of thing. And this is why.
Amy Estrich said that, made that statement.
Yeah.
She'll be somebody that
Yeah. Yeah.
you cover
Mhm.
coming up. And then there's a David Wilcox that
Wilcox said it. Mhm.
made the same kind of
Mhm.
statements. He
Mhm.
said, hey, people are after me.
Burchett said it.
You
Tim,
know?
I love him, by the way.
Yeah.
Burchett said it.
Uh-huh.
At the end of his things, I'm like, damn.
Keep going with these
There's
names.
3
Wow.
more that
Great.
additional names mentioned in investigations. These I just have names and what they did. It doesn't
Mhm.
say what anything else, but Frank Maywald, he was NASA. Jason Thomas, pharma researcher, and Stephen Garcia, a government contractor. So those are also names that are mentioned in investigations.
Stephen Garcia, August 2025. Did you know? No, Stephen Garcia, August 2025. I want to cross-reference this with one of my notes real quick, but I believe
Take a
he
look.
left with no ID, left with nothing but a handgun, the reports say. I don't know why you had a handgun with him or didn't
Oh, okay.
have this handgun. And a lot of these are in New Mexico. New
Mm.
Mexico, you've got Sandia Labs and Los Alamos there both. But there is a Kansas City tie to that because we have this thing called the Kansas City National Security Campus, and it is a nuclear facility, kind of program. And Stephen Garcia, 48 years old, worked there, and then abruptly left with only having a handgun, leaving on foot. That's what
That's
from his
strange.
home
Yeah, that's strange.
2 days before his birthday.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you
And
make
then
of
these
that?
people are never seen again.
I mean, what do you make
Never
of that?
seen again.
Well, Eddie,
I don't
so
know.
what connects them? Like I said, some common threads.
Okay.
High level security clearance. They all have high level security clearance. Okay.
Yes.
They all worked in propulsion systems, nuclear or defense tech,
Yeah.
and space research.
Yeah.
Okay. Ties, direct or indirect, to government funded programs.
Yes.
It says some speculate a sentinel network, a loose idea of interconnected researchers, but of course, there's no verified evidence this network exists. It's just speculation.
I think the biggest thing that, when I looked at it and that we're looking at here, maybe using our rational mind is one of two things. One, this is espionage, spy, covert from another country, China or Russia,
They're
doing
kidnapping
this.
them or killing them.
Kidnapping, interrogating, because they're the top of the top people doing the top research in this area.
So this is how they want to get it ahead. Maybe they did.
Quite
maybe they
possibly
figured,
that's
like,
how
hey,
they want to get ahead.
we have more ships or we have more crash material,
Correct.
and they want to be like, or we're making more advances than them, but hey, the U.S. is getting ahead, or
Possibly.
you know,
Yeah. And so, this is the other part of that is it's inside our own government.
who's to say we don't do that to them?
Oh, we absolutely do that to
You know what I'm saying?
We absolutely
I wouldn't
do.
be shocked if we over there kidnapping.
Sure. They have the same
Kidnapping and killing
programs.
people.
They
Yeah.
have the same
Oh, yeah.
programs.
If
They
they
have
get
a
ahead,
crash
we're gonna do the
retrieval
same thing.
program in Russia and,
Yeah. Yeah.
as we've talked about before.
Yeah. Don't let
So
them
who's
get
to
ahead.
say we're not doing the same thing to them?
Absolutely.
They're scientists.
Yeah.
You
That's
know?
what. Yeah. Exactly. I say that out loud.
Yeah, you got to say
Because-
that out
because
loud.
that's what would happen.
And so I think this is very interesting that it's, very much espionage.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of the scientists say, I'm feeling targeted. If I take my life, this is not, or excuse me, if I get found dead, I did not kill myself.
Yeah, I didn't kill myself.
And
Yeah.
Monica, I think it was Monica Reza stated that. No, Amy Estridge stated that multiple times, and also David Wilcox. And so you get this espionage kind of thing going, and this makes more sense to me in a way for this to happen because this is at the forefront of what's going on, and as far as I don't know if you would call that security right now, internal security, I guess. But that makes the most sense to me. But so what do these wild things look like? One, I think there was a lady, and this is kind of not a stretch whatsoever because this has been proved before. I didn't do my research well enough, but a directed energy weapon.
Okay.
This started years ago, CIA research that there's an energy weapon that they can direct towards people that can have them have delusions, have them have inner ear problems, feeling sick, debilitated.
Okay.
And I forgot what this is called. They used it continually on our own people.
Almost like infrasound in a way.
Yes, it was. It had to do with infrasound and some other things. And that it was I think Russia did this to us at one of our embassies, and it left people with these almost permanent kinds of things to deal with. And so those things have been used. The other thing, drugs to look like you had a heart attack because some of these people had heart attacks. Okay. Then abductions, boy, harassments, monitoring phones and computers. These are all the things that come in that these people are saying that are going on. If these are abductions, wow, being followed, things like this.
I mean, that's even more talks about the importance of whistleblower protection, and I'll get more
Absolutely.
into that. And
That parallels what has been said too by our own whistleblowers.
Yeah.
Brake lines cut.
Yeah, they come after you. Yeah, they come after you big time. And,
Yes.
yeah, they do, and they talk about it a
Threats.
lot. I've heard Dylan Borland has been on the Weaponized
Yes.
podcast.
That's the one I'm thinking about in
he
particular, is brake lines.
Yeah, he shares a lot about things. Matthew Brown,
Yeah.
also those two are connected. They're both pretty significant whistleblowers that have come out, and it just it's that ruins their lives essentially. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like it's something that I think that also adds credibility to it. You know what I mean? Because that essentially they're taking that risk to like professionally ruin their lives to say like this stuff is going on. Somebody has to know about it.
Yeah. Another funny thing with the McCaslin, or I keep butchering this guy's name.
I think you said it right.
McCaslin? Yeah.
I think it is,
I
yeah.
think it's McCaslin. He took off his smartwatch.
Mhm.
So if you're gonna go for a hike for fitness,
Yeah, you have your watch on, or it doesn't count. You have to wear your
it
watch or it doesn't count. That's what I
that's
say when I work
correct.
out. I said, "If I don't
Gotta
have
wear
my
a
watch
watch, it
on, it
doesn't
doesn't
count.
count." Yeah, it doesn't
That's
count.
right.
Yep.
I mean, this is contradictory to
Yeah.
what you would
Oh,
think.
yeah,
If I'm gonna go out
absolutely.
for,
Yep,
"Hey, it's a leisurely
yep.
hike, and I'm gonna," well, or part of my fitness program, I'm dang sure taking my fitness watch to know
Mhm,
what my performance was, and
mhm.
it's part of my narrative.
Yeah,
Okay, that you
yeah,
took that off on
yeah.
purpose as well. So this is very interesting that all of them did this, fitted
Mhm,
themselves of IDs.
mhm. It's very suspicious.
Mhm.
And there has been a government response. There's been a House Oversight Committee. There's a House Oversight Committee that's launched an inquiry looking into it. FBI and federal agencies are reviewing the cases. The White House acknowledges concern, but there's been no official link between the case confirmed.
And
No official link.
right.
So between cases.
That is another thing that kills me is just the no final medical exam, no
Yeah.
cause of death, and
Yeah.
nothing looked into. One of these
Mhm.
guys had a kind of a questionable background and was being held at a detention facility, and he died there. He was being questioned about some things.
Well, let me talk about some of the competing explanations.
Yeah,
Well, that
good.
we
Well,
gotta
maybe I
touch
get this
on.
together, but that was an interesting twist because he had some kind of falling out with there was some law going on, and somebody broke into his house, something like
Mhm.
this, and
That is showing pictures of they'll do that too. They'll break in and then send you pictures of your inside of your house, knowing that they
right,
they
just
did that
going,
to
hey,
Moreland, by the
right,
way.
that
By
I'm
the way, think about
here,
that. Yes.
that I'm here.
Yeah.
Or I can get to you, and look
Yeah.
how easy this is. For the life of me right now, I can't find this gentleman's name. That's too bad. But anyway, that was an interesting thing. So if you're detained in a facility, you have to have inquiry of how that death occurred.
Yeah.
They said he died of a heart attack. Okay.
Mm.
But you can't just file that in paperwork, as you know from working in hospitals. I can't do There's going to be a full report on that. People are going to be questioned. They're going to be asked about what you did, what you didn't do, how did you render aid, how did you not render aid, what occurred. None of this has been released with this person's death.
Well,
So very interesting.
like we were getting into some more explanations behind some of the stuff we're talking about. Like we mentioned before, we want to play, be try to cover as many bases as we can. So, some of the competing explanations is, just a coincidence, right? Could be just a coincidence, and pattern recognition is, our minds will always try to find patterns in things. That's where that's what our brains do. So experts warn, humans connect unrelated events into narratives. Okay. So that's what tends to happen. Some deaths have known suspects and or natural or unrelated causes. So, that's some arguments against it. Like, well, they're unrelated deaths. I mean, this was natural, or
Mhm.
this person did this, that sort of thing. National security, like we talked about it, foreign targeting, possibility of espionage,
Mhm.
China, Russia, et cetera, targeting high value researchers. Yeah, so that's still speculative, but it's taken pretty serious in some government circles. Some of what I was finding when I was researching some things. Also, classified program secrecy. There's a historical president, scientists reassigned into black projects. Disappearance could mean just removed from public visibility. So these people could be some people that are vanished could be alive. They just had to. They're like, hey, now you're working on stuff where you can't even exist.
Wow. So do you
Yeah,
think that those people would have voluntarily went that deep with this? Because you
possibility.
leave your family, you leave
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah,
Now they
possibility.
were already at a high level of security that family didn't
Mhm,
know what they were doing,
mhm,
you know?
yeah,
I mean, that's not that big of
yeah,
another step, but
mhm,
boy, that would be really, really you give your life up? Man, what's that benefit package look like?
yeah, really. Except for life. You know.
What's that benefit package
Right,
look
it's
like,
gotta be
man?
something like, no, not ever pay taxes again or something,
Right,
you
right.
know?
The
I don't
gentleman
know.
I was trying to look up was Aiden Schaefer is
Aiden
his name,
Schaefer, okay,
Aiden Schaefer,
okay,
yeah. And then, you look at this too from the big perspective, okay, these were major laboratories, major facilities. And we're talking about 17 people at 5 different, places, 5 to 6 different places. What's the numbers of that? Well, 17 people is a very small percentage if you really think about it. I mean, if you apply some basic
right.
statistics
Mhm.
to it. So I don't know. Could it actually be nothing? What do you think about that? Could it be nothing?
It could be, but I guess we have to all yes, you're correct, it could be. As we admit that, is also elephant in the room, right? The elephant in the room is what we're trying to say. There's a possibility that these people are connected to these programs because UAP, reverse engineering, proof of alien life. These people know things that prove that we are not alone in the universe, prove that we are not even close to being at the top of the food chain, and so that's the UAP disclosure suppression theory.
I would say you either suppress it or you excavate everything you can from these people. One of the two. Man, now they're top of my class in physics and stuff.
Yeah, really.
Glad I became.
you get banished.
Glad I embrace psychology. No one cares about.
Yeah, nobody cares about this. Nobody's gonna come get us for
no, not gonna come get us.
I
don't think.
I don't think.
Right. Right.
Nobody's been following me yet.
Right. Nobody's been following me yet.
But I just don't know, man. But I am excited about more things, what's to come out, what it's going to look like, as we progress through this. And,
in now maybe transitioning to the release, again, everything's sequestered in those releases, of the videos, I mean. So I've gone on the main site and looked at all of it. There's no sound, there's no narration, there's no nothing. You just see these things, okay? And everything's redacted. There's no tracking the speed, there's no location, there's no anything on that. It's just you looking at this, and since it's IR most of the time, kind of a black and white-ish presentation. Some of these things are, however, remarkable, and some of those things have the 5 qualities of UAPs as set forth, so. And one is instant acceleration.
Yeah, that's my favorite one.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one by far, is the one with that it just takes off immediately. Like I said, as far as I know, I don't know anything that can do that. So
yeah,
I don't know that,
It did a funny thing. It was tracking it for quite a while, and then it lost. You could see it was targeted in, or and then it looked like it fell apart as far as the scoping of it, and it went up, and it didn't follow it. No. As far as the tracking, the targeting, it went up and then immediately jumps off
like
screen.
It was a streak of it. Like
a streak.
Bang, gone.
Yes, couldn't even follow it. It was so quick.
Yeah, they had to have been thousands of miles per hour. And again, that's just just from what my eyes are seeing. I don't know how fast you have to go to just make something like zap out like that.
Yeah, but that's what a lot of them are reported. Hey, and it moved away with such speed that it was incredible. We've heard that from. My gosh, I don't know how many reports.
Imagine the people that feel validated, because we tried to say back, everybody would come out.
Yeah,
and you would give them shit, and you'd be like, I don't hear nothing but that's just the guy with the 3 teeth.
Right, I would have. Yeah,
and so now that guy's like screaming at the top of his lungs, like, I've been trying to tell y'all that I saw.
I would have.
And you were sitting there, you were like, "Oh, get out of here!"
Not credible. Yeah,
that's all the they're. The government
until it's the government over our own military installations saying this. Now it's credible. Yeah, it is. Sorry. You want to know what it takes to impress me?
Yeah, exactly.
That's and there has been both people say this.
Yeah.
I've been fascinated by what the general public has had to say, opposed to what the defense world has to say. But when I jumped on, was like, whoa, you cannot deny this. This is now a thing. I mean, Phoenix Lights were huge, saw by, hundreds of people. And you'll get into studying this more. There's a lot of other UFO phenomenon viewed by many individuals.
There is.
And then all the previous things with military bases, like Rendlesham and
there's tons of
different ones.
Roswell type things. And
sure.
And Eddie, I wanted to ask you about, now, do we want to go to any more MUFON events? I know we didn't.
I'd like to.
You want to go to more. We want to get more.
About this?
Huh?
You're gonna pick on me about this? I'm a rational. Even with anything that's there, I'm as rational as you can.
What do you mean, though? I mean, what were you not rational? I mean, what is it about the last event that got you kind of like frazzled a bit?
Well, just like with the paranormal, when we would go to a haunted location, and they would go, "That's the ghost that lives there. His name's Jim."
Yeah,
and he's always there, and he's always angry.
Yeah.
And so they've named this thing that personified it. It's, I don't know. I mean, do you have to call it something, or what's the origin of that? So when we were talking about Venetians, and these are people that are entities from Venus that live inside the planet, Not on the outside because it's uninhabitable, right?
Right. Yes.
Kind of a rough place, I gather. But they live inside, so it's all good. They've got inside, biosphere inside.
Yeah.
And they travel back and forth, and they've been talking to the government forever. And they've been, we're like gave the big alien handshake a long time ago, and we're buddies.
Yeah.
And we consult on stuff and da da da. And I'm like, what? Really?
That was a lot to take in, right?
That was a lot to take in.
You and I sat there. We tried. We listened.
That's a take in.
We're always going to be respectful. We're always going to give it a listen.
Yes.
It was interesting to hear, and I was intrigued at how serious people were discussing it. Because it was so much outside of what Ed and I's philosophy when we go into areas of the unknown.
Yeah.
Did I phrase that?
Yeah. We're looking for something measurable or as measurable as possible.
Yeah.
With unknown or paranormal phenomena. How can you make that scientific? And you really kind of can't.
Yeah.
The closest thing you can get is natural observation.
Right.
And then looking for possible causality of this for natural reasons. And if not, you have to go, okay, can't explain.
Yeah.
But you should run it through those gates first rather than embracing
I agree.
the other thing so much.
It was a lot. It was a lot to take in for us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because Ed tends to be a harder egg to crack than myself in some respects with this for this stuff. But I too was like, whoa, we gotta pump the brakes a little bit.
Yeah.
They went pretty far pretty fast because I was like, whoa.
Yes. Yeah.
Whoa. I was just still trying to catch my breath, we're talking about Balthor and things like that. And then the one person had X-ray vision.
Right. That
and so that was a little bit
gifts.
Yeah, they give gifts.
And
that lost me a little bit. But you know what?
Yeah.
But we're gonna give another one a chance.
I am gonna give another one a chance. I'm gonna go
give another one a chance.
Yeah.
We're gonna go check it out.
You deserve that, right?
Oh,
you can't just go one time and go, okay, this is it. Well, yeah.
At minimum, it was a good time.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
It was a good time.
I met some people.
Yeah.
I got to tap into my paranormal stuff. I hadn't tapped into that side of me in a while, and I'm starting to get more and more excited about getting more involved in the paranormal. Ed and I have been talking about doing paranormal things coming up this summer, maybe in the rest of this year. Maybe we'll find something we'll take our podcast on the road. We may go on location to a to a known haunted spot.
I just came up with something.
What's that?
We were talking about paranormal places to go, different things to do. Joplin Spooklight is free.
Yeah.
Joplin Spooklight, you don't have to rent a place.
Yeah. Yeah, I can find. Yeah,
Joplin Spooklight. And if you guys don't know what that is, there's various odd lights around the United States at different places.
Yeah.
And they have been recorded for hundreds of years, and there's no natural explanation for these things that are really there. So Sean and I were thinking, wow, maybe we just thought this up.
Have you ever seen them?
When I was a little kid,
okay.
And this is way back when I was probably 12 or 11, my sister's boyfriend and her, and so that put them about 17, 18, probably in high school.
Yeah.
Maybe first year of college, drug me out to see this thing, and we did see it along with other people in the woods that were walking around.
What did you make of it, though?
It was a weird white light, and it was far away from us. It would get closer. It wouldn't be super close. The most close, probably, 100 yards maybe away, but you could see it, and it moved, and it would get brighter and then not as bright. There's no road that parallel to that. There's no reflection that would do that, and it moved on its own. And then it would just disappear and then come back. It was very strange, and that was years ago. So we could do a little bit of research on it.
Yeah, I love that idea. That'd be great. I've seen
and then do
one.
a podcast.
Yeah, I've seen them as well.
Yeah.
So I could definitely look into the place I saw it. So yeah, that's there. 'Cause mine was a similar experience. There was a light really far away down a gravel road. Mine looked like emergency lights. It looked like almost like it looked like if there's been a wreck.
The video that you showed.
Yeah, if there's police there or something, and the closer you got to it, you couldn't get close to it. It was
that light illuminated the ground, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it did.
Okay, this thing that I saw was far enough away I could not see that it illuminated the ground, but that had a luminous effect. Yours did.
Yeah, it was very intriguing. I couldn't make any sense of that. I was like, I don't know what that is. We can't get to it.
Mhm.
It was just there.
What happened when you do you try and get closer to it and then
We did.
it went
Then it went
out
away. Yeah,
or went
eventually it
away?
did. We drove closer and closer and closer, and we just couldn't get close to it. And then it finally just went. It finally just it went out or went away,
Yeah,
or I don't know what. It just wasn't there.
yeah. It
Um,
didn't slowly dissipate, get smaller, smaller. It just poof, gone.
yes, it got smaller. It got smaller and smaller for a little bit. Then it,
Okay.
like it hit a plateau. Like it got about the brightest it's gonna get, and then it just suddenly was gone.
This thing would just cut out.
Hmm.
There'd be no the light change would just happen spontaneously, but when you would get closer to it, it would just cut out. And I don't know, that led people to go, "Oh, it's intelligent." Well, that's an interesting
Yeah,
thing.
I'd be interested to go
So I
see
don't
that
know.
again. Yeah, we could check that out.
And that
That'd be
is not a
that's free.
home
Yeah, that's something we
or
could do.
a
Pretty. Yeah.
building or
No.
anything that
Yeah.
we have to,
Yeah.
look
Mhm.
at doing. We could do that spontaneously.
Yeah.
That
Absolutely.
may be a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be great.
And
Yeah, I like
lights
that one.
of any kind,
And make sure we
we
document it.
yeah, and we try and document it, yeah, if
I'm
we
down with that. Heck yeah.
yeah,
Absolutely.
not a bad idea.
All right, Eddie.
Spontaneous, just happened.
Spontaneous. Yeah.
Just
Right
thought about
here,
it.
live on the Impossible to Deny
Yeah, we're creating
podcast.
shows, right?
We are.
Spontaneously right
Yes.
here. So, I don't know, in summation, you also the other thing that I thought that was really interesting about this, the most recent release was that transmedian,
Yeah.
deal where it went to this, saucer-shaped object, and I believe now the instant acceleration one was Syria.
Mm.
I don't know where the other one was, but it demonstrated going in and out of water with
Yeah.
no
Seamlessly. Just,
seamlessly, no drag to it,
mhm.
no splash in the
Yeah.
water. Again, having that cloaking system, if you want to call it that, or
Mhm.
the reactor of zero gravity bubble around it. It's the only way that these things could occur.
Yeah.
So, man, those are the two that stood out to us the
Yeah,
most, I
a
think.
lot. Those were really profound to me. So I'm really excited to see what's coming next. I hope they're working up to better footage of more detailed things.
Yeah.
That's what's really gonna turn everything upside down. I think if
Yeah.
the videos are more detailed. I think the more detailed, I think we'll get things will get more.
When you look back at it, the fighter pilot details of the first three, that came out, the gimbal, the go
Yeah,
fast, and the
those
tic
are pretty
tac,
impressive.
those were a lot more clear than the ones
Mhm.
we're getting now
Mhm.
from straight IR or
Yeah, right. I think we're getting the
targeting
bottom of the
system.
barrel. I think if my speculation is they're being like, okay, we got to release this stuff, so let's give them the shittiest stuff first,
Mhm.
and then work our way up to the
Mm.
what's more
Top shelf.
top shelf type stuff. Let's start
Uh-huh.
small, give them the little silver ball flying through the field, or just a few little things on IR, and then release more detailed footage. I think because there's been whistleblowers that have said they've seen videos of full on clear
Super clear footage.
footage of things hovering,
Uh-huh.
like you see on like you're watching a movie or something,
Yeah,
like
super detailed.
yeah. So I don't know.
And
That'll get released.
again, if it was some other entity, it would sit there and say that's AI or
Mhm,
AI inspired. I
mhm,
I can't look at video and know that.
mm,
But I mean, if it's, the government
yeah,
showing this and
yeah,
people again got their careers on the line to tell me this is true and this is
mhm,
real and this is accurate,
mhm,
and you can poke the holes in me if you want.
mhm.
Well, wow, that's credibility to me.
That's big
Okay.
time
So,
credibility. I mean, to me, you don't get much better than that, or
yeah.
much more credible than that. So
All right, man, more to come.
yeah, more to come. That's another one in the books. So
Yes, and thank you guys very much.
yes, thanks. Keep listening. We're on all sorts of platforms.
New platforms.
New platforms. Check us out. We're all over the place. Keep listening.
Trying to get out there more.
All right. Thanks, everybody.